Call the meeting to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have no public to be heard at this time, right?
That's correct.
All right. It's my honor at this time. We just honored our retirees from this year. And if I remember correctly, we had over 300 years of experience that Batavia will be losing this year to retirement. The following retirees, from the board, thank you guys for everything you've done for our district and for our students. Karen Barber, Mike Bromley, Jennifer Corbelli, Gail DeGregorio, Jeff Donahue, Nancy Hates, Mary Hall, and I'm going to butcher this name, Susan Lukashevowicz, Paula Mossman, Frank Penapento, who my two younger boys had and totally loved his class, Wade Pickert, Sharon Regal, Scott Ruzansky, who I had the pleasure of working closely with the past 6 years, or 5 years, I'm sorry, Jacqueline Schumacher, and Deborah Torville. Could not thank you guys enough for everything you've done for our district and our students. Next up, still me, the good news. Natalie Keller from the high school. Charlie Voorhees and his class made some amazing picnic tables for the courtyard at the high school, and they're handicap accessible. Charlie and the kids thought about the needs of all our students when making something for the whole school to enjoy. From the middle school, Kristen Gomez. Thank you, Sue Prescher, Connor Blyer, Nicole Mutter, and Mary Heel, by providing snacks to our SOAR groups throughout the year. Our students enjoy these special treats daily. We are grateful for each and every team member in nutritional services at BCSD. And from John Kennedy, Eric Knapp, the John Kennedy mental health team consisting of Michelle Manning, Julie Wazalewski, Rebecca Bartz, and myself are an incredible asset to the students, families, and staff of John Kennedy School. Nani, Waz, and Becky are incredible co-workers who go above and beyond daily to support the John Kennedy School family. Each day, the primary focus of our mental health team is to ensure the social, emotional, and physical well-being of our JK family members are the very best they can be. They are a critical part of ensuring our students have the most thorough education possible during their years at JK. And then from Robert Morrison Jackson, Maureen Notaro, Claire D'Amico works with the primary project and does a great job with our students. She is kind, caring, and patient. Thank you, Claire. And there is plenty of good news still to read, so please, if you have the opportunity, get online and take a look at that. And it's still me. I get the pleasure to come up front and honor a young man who I had the pleasure of coaching football for a few years. So this is a certificate of achievement that I am proudly presenting to Sheldon Starberman for bringing home the 2024 New York State Public High School Athletic Association Division II State Shot Put Championship. We'll have another one next year, right?
Good.
Here we go. Thank you.
Congratulations. Appreciate it.
Also want to acknowledge Coach Geiger for being here, because I'm pretty sure without Coach Geiger's influence in coaching, Sheldon won't be doing the thrills that he is right now. So, Coach Geiger, thank you very much for all you do. All right, now, no longer me, so you're lucky. Public relations update, Miss Emily Benedict.
All right, everyone see this okay? All right, good. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Communications PR year in review for the 2023-24 school year. That's fun. Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you. This was my third year working with the district, and it's been an absolute pleasure working with all of you, working with all of our admin team at all the schools. Everybody is getting to know me a little bit more, so they're more comfortable with me just wandering around their schools and taking photos. So thanks to everybody for another wonderful school year. Yep. So what I'm going to touch on today are our 2023-24 kind of key projects, and I'm going to go through social media, Parent Square, our capital improvement project, and our right list. And really the theme of my presentation today is to talk about all the different delivery mechanisms that we have for getting our message out into the community. So first I'm going to start with social media. I'm a numbers nerd, so get ready for all my numbers. Across our social media platforms, Facebook, we're seeing 4,600 followers. Twitter/X is about 1,400 followers and 288 subscribers on our YouTube channel, bringing our total number of followers to about 6,300 across all platforms. And Facebook is our primary mode of social media, and we put most if not all of our news out on that platform. And from July 1st, 2023 through June 6th, 2024, we reach 152,200 people. So how we get to that number is every time anyone interacts with any of our social media posts, whether that's a like or a share or a comment, it's then pushed out to who you all follow. So if you all engage with all of our posts, thank you very much. Every time you like something, people in your algorithm, in your feed, get to see it as well. So that's how we get to that 152,000 number. We've had 34,500 content interactions. That's everything from liking, sharing, commenting. And when we do share links, that could be anything from linking to a blog post or a press release on our website, or some of our press partners in Batavia will have links to their stories. We've had 6,000 link clicks on our posts this year. And I want to talk a little bit about how we use our social media posts. Now, you might think day to day, oh, this is a post here, a post there. There's actually a little bit of strategy behind everything that we do. And I have 8 different buckets that all of our social posts kind of fall into at any given day. First up, we have our informative posts. Now, people that follow us, the 4,500 people on Facebook, they are members of the community. They might not necessarily have students in our district, but they are Batavia taxpayers. So this is our primary mode of storytelling, so they get a lot of information about our district through our social media channels. For example, this was our budget vote and Board of Education election post, so letting them know who was elected and if the budget passed. That's one example. Next example is I rely really heavily on our school teams, mostly our principals who handle social media for each of their buildings. And so I will curate posts that they put up every single day, because I'm not in their classrooms, I'm not in their schools every single day, but there's a lot of great stuff happening there. So I really rely heavily on these school posts. Shout out to Mo Nataro. She's my rock star. She's posting all the time out of Robert Morris and Jackson. So all of our principals are great, but Mo specifically is really keen on posting multiple times a day. So it's really super helpful. This was a really great example of one of our younger kiddos in UPK at Robert Morris celebrating her Indian heritage on an Indian holiday recently. So happy to re-amplify this from the couple of hundred people that follow the Jackson account to our social account, and then spreading that story wide through our amplification. Another type of post that we do are our regular updates. Now these are important because for consistency purposes, everybody knows if you follow us that Jason puts out an update to the community every other Friday. And so consistently posting this on social every Friday at 11 a.m., you're going to see this across Parent Square on our website and our social media, so you can expect to know you're going to hear from the district at that time. So that's another option of our updates. We also use social media to remind parents about holidays. There's a lot of stuff going on. I know parents are keeping track in their individual calendars, but this is always like that nice secondary nudge to remind them, oh, hey, you have a long weekend coming up. We also use our social media as our main point of contact for all of our news. Again, we are the most important storytellers of our own story, so we use social media in order to amplify all the great things that are happening within the district that we also share with our news partners, but we also want to make sure that we're celebrating it as well. This is a great example. This was the Drama and Production Club's recent appearance at the Stars of Tomorrow, so we were so excited to be able to share that news. Peyton's listed on there, so very exciting. We also use our social posts to amplify stories from our press partners. We're so lucky to be able to have multiple outlets here in the city of Batavia to be able to cover us on different occasions. And so they oftentimes post it on their social outlets, but we want to make sure that our Batavia residents get a chance to see everything that's said about us in the outside world. This is a great example of Brian came in to do a story about us when we won the Best Communities for Music Education. So we reposted that one. Also use it as an opportunity to celebrate our athletics. Our athletic program has their own social media channels. They do a great job with that on a day-to-day basis. But again, using our channel, which has the most followers, as a chance to amplify everything, all the great things that we have going on, those really big marquee moments. Here's a recent example of our 6 seniors who signed into college programs for the upcoming year. Got really great engagement on that. This is fun. Finally, a little bit of fun with social media. Sometimes you forget as brands and school districts that we do like to have a good time around here sometimes. So I do like to sprinkle in a little bit of fun every once in a while. This post I created for our Mr. Batavia competition recently, and it was just a fun reminder of, it's happening tonight, make sure you join us. Got a ton of engagement on this one. So again, making sure we sprinkle in some of the fun that everybody's having on a day-to-day basis. Next up, I wanted to chat about Parent Square. It's about a year ago, I presented to all of you about our implementation of this new software across the district, and I'm really excited to talk to you about the results of this first year using it, and also thank all of the colleagues that I worked with, Brian Sutton, Molly, Trisha, everybody, all the office staffs across the district who really embraced this, all of our teachers who wholeheartedly embrace Parent Square. It's really hard to learn new technology sometimes. It's kind of annoying to get into a new system, but we've been so blown away by how Parent Square has been implemented this year, and I'm going to have a lot of fun data to show you how much we've used it. So just to give you a starting point of where we're at with Parent Square, we have 2,674 students that are inside, that are connected to Parent Square, 689 staff and teachers, 2,365 parents, and 33 guests. Most of the guests are coaches because we do set up groups and things for our athletic teams to be able to engage inside of Parent Square. We have a 98% contactable rate, which means that we can reach 98% of our families. We have never known this data before with our previous systems, which have worked well for us as well, but we've never had this information about who we're contacting. Now those extra 2%, we know exactly who they are, and we know how we can reach them either by phone or if we have to mail them things. We do know who they are and we know how we can get to them, but 98% are contacted via digital, via Parent Square. To give you a quick idea of how people are using Parent Square, how parents are using it specifically, most of our parents have selected to receive their updates via email, and then we also allow people can get their updates via text or also inside of their app via notification. This is all flexible. As a parent, you can choose your notification options. The great thing about email, I'm not sure how all of you have chosen to use Parent Square, but the great thing about the email is that you can either select to receive all of your updates, which are posts from school, posts from your teachers. You can elect to receive those instantly as soon as the teacher posts it, or you can select to receive one email at the end of the day at around 6 o'clock. And if you have multiple kids in different classes, to get all of that information on one digest at the end of the day just makes life easier for parents. So we're very excited to have that flexibility. But as you can see, we have overlap between email, text, and app. A lot of people use it in a lot of different ways, which we're happy to be flexible about. So here are some of my favorite numbers about Parent Square this year. So far this year, we have sent 114,969 direct messages. And so that's between parents and teachers, that's between parents and coaches, all those things. So we've really opened up a line of communication that's beyond the way we used to do it, which is teachers giving their own cell phone numbers, teachers and their personal email addresses. We are now really bringing that together inside of Parent Square. We have set up 57 forms and permission slips, and so I only expect this number to grow as the years go on and the teachers become more comfortable with this. But this is 57 permission slips that would have gone home in a folder, that would have maybe not been delivered to a parent, that maybe, would have been kind of annoying to put together and collate. All of this is now through Parent Square, and the results are digital, so teachers can receive that feedback and information instantly. Okay. We have shared 11,680 photos and videos. Now these are teachers sharing individual photos and videos inside of the posts inside of their classrooms. Now, admittedly, this is mostly our younger student grades that are doing this, our teachers at Jackson, Robert Morris, and John Kennedy, but I have seen this across the board, our teachers sharing information with our families. Really exciting to see that engagement. We've posted 4,601 posts across districts, schools, classrooms, which is incredible to see. We have sent 1,335 secure documents. Now these are documents that are sent directly to parents, and it could be anything from a document that they need to sign for their child's counselor or something, or it could be a report card. And the great thing about secure documents is, you could mail a report card home. You don't know if it's going to arrive in the mail. Mail is notoriously not reliable. You don't know if a parent can get it. Maybe a kid intercepts his report card before he gets home, or the parents get home. A lot of different things can happen. With digital report cards through secure documents, they're being delivered directly to the parent, and we can see if it was delivered and if a parent opened it. So if a parent calls and says, I didn't get my son's report card, yes you did. We have it, we sent it on this date, this then. So we have a lot of information about that to be able to share. And finally, probably can't see that number, there's a feature on Parent Square that you can request volunteers to be part of your events or things in the classroom, and we requested 1,347 volunteers for different events this year. And just a little bit of information about the interaction. 1,161 parents out of 2,365 have interacted. Now what's really great about that stat is that typically there are 2 contacts per student listed in Parent Square. And so if 49%, which is 1,161 of 2,365, 49% of parent interaction could mean that 98% of our families are actually interacting with our information on Parent Square, which is incredible. Finally, I want to give a little staff superstars, some shout outs to some of our staff members who have really embraced Parent Square, and I want you to see how on a singular classroom basis Parent Square is used. So out of John Kennedy, Donna Gominiak posted 158 times this year. Out of John Kennedy and BMS, they tied Lisa Gilberto and Maggie Gugino out of the BMS main office. They posted 160 times this year. John Kennedy Superstar, Krista Knapp, posted 213 times this year. And coming in at number 1, also Jackson Primary Superstar Deb Wolf posted 275 individual times in her classroom feed this year. And so back in February, I did a brief staff survey to listen to our staff about how they've been using Parent Square, ways we could improve. And I wanted to hear how it has been embraced. It was a very, a lot of really great feedback, a lot of learnings came from this as well. But just wanted to give you a highlight of how our staff, who are our main users of Parent Square, are using it. So they complimented on the ease of use. It's quick and easy to get more information out to parents, and I can check my own kids' information at the same time. That's another really great feature. A lot of teachers are also parents who use Parent Square in their home districts or here in Batavia, so it makes it really easy for them, which, again, I'm always happy to hear we're making life easier. Direct messaging, this is a really important comment. Parents who do not answer the phone for phone calls will message through Parent Square all the time. I am able to send quick responses and communicate with parents so much easier than trying to connect with them over the phone. That's just the way the world works these days. A lot of people don't like to use the phone. A lot of younger people don't like to use the phone. Anyone calls me and leaves a voice message, I'm not your friend. So I totally get this, that people want to only talk via text or direct message. So the fact that we offer that is really, really great. The staff complimented how efficient Parent Square is. I like that I can send a message quick and easy to parents. The way that Parent Square is set up, it's basically like a social media feed, which they're very used to using on a personal basis. So Parent Square makes it easy for them to get messages out. And they've been getting a lot of feedback from parents. One parent commented something like, "I love your communication on Parent Square." So parents are seeing it and they are appreciating all of the work that we're doing. And finally, it is streamlined. I like that it is one platform across the entire district, more streamlined. And when I stood here about a year ago, we mentioned the 4 or 5 different programs our teachers were using, from curriculum to communication, Google, Class Dojo, all of these different things, personal text message. The fact that we brought all of that into one place has been really effective across the board. And finally, there were definitely learnings from this staff survey. There's a lot of training opportunities available, both via Parent Square. Parent Square has a huge library of resources that we will continue to provide for our staff. As they are now more comfortable with it, we can then level up their skill through some of the advanced learning opportunities on Parent Square. So the other big project I wanted to talk about in delivery of our communications and our public relations message was our capital improvement project from last fall into December. December 14th was the vote. So I wanted to walk you through some of the different non-digital ways that we also communicate with our community. Some digital, some non-digital. But the first thing that went into our messaging about the capital improvement project were our key messages. I sat with Jason and Andy at the beginning of this project to really talk about, all that info that came with the capital project. How do we distill all of that in a message that will resonate with the community, that they will understand what we're doing, that they can understand how we're funding it, that we're being transparent. So the 4 key messages that we came up with were the fact that the capital project was no tax increase. We wanted to talk about how the project was going to be funded, really hit home about the grade transitions with the movement between schools, as well as be very transparent about the need and the part of the project that included the athletic fields, because we wanted to make sure people understood why that was a part of this project. So after we put all of that together, I was really very, very proud of the capital improvement project video that we did. You're going to see some stars in the room here in the video if you haven't seen it already. We put this together. I did 2 full 8-hour shoot days for this video across all of our schools with a professional videographer. He was really wonderful to work with, and I worked with all of our admin team. Jason, Molly, Andy, Ryan, everybody was in this video for me. I appreciate everyone's goodwill to me during this time. But it was really great to be able to tell the story of the capital project with visuals. And another great kind of thing that came of this is that all of this video, as you can see, is really professional looking, and we have so much of it. I'm now repurposing it for other things like our website and our social media, so we get multiple uses out of all of this great project. Second type of communication we did a postcard for the capital, a voting postcard, which included information about save the date, where to vote, all of this, and a QR code to a much longer fact sheet and newsletter, and more information about the vote. But this was mailed to every voter in the city of Batavia, so they absolutely knew when the vote was going to be. We also sent out a printed newsletter that had every kind of the nitty-gritty information that we couldn't cover in the video, that we couldn't cover on the postcard. This was also mailed to Batavia residents, and it included, like I said, if you wanted to know that the fire alarm system replacement was happening at the middle school, this is where you would find that out. We also had a really clear breakdown of the project budget and the source of funds. So again, everybody received this in the mail. And finally, our architect partners who worked with us on the newsletter also helped us put together this one-sheet fact sheet that was available for print. We printed out at all of our public information meetings, and it was also, again, a really quick and easy way to break down the project and all of the key parts of it. And it wouldn't be a project with us without a social post. So these are 3 different versions of social posts that I did. I created for the week of the vote, a where to vote video, which told you, based on where you lived in Batavia, where your polling place was. And then the other 2 posts on the side are examples of voting reminders, as well as the project results. So that's a lot of information about ways that we communicate. Now I want to kind of dig niche down into our Right List, which is another new project that we did this year. Really, really excited about this. In the past, when we were sending out printed newsletters, we used a local vendor, and they were great. Everything, worked out really well, but that newsletter was inserted into the Penny Saver that we all get on Friday afternoons. The thing about inserting it into the Penny Saver, a couple of different things. Penny Saver is a county-wide publication, and so we could never really zero in on exactly who was receiving it. So I couldn't say confidently that a family in Oakfield wasn't receiving our newsletter. So again, that's a waste of resources, so we wanted to find a way to mitigate that. And we also wanted to make sure, I know I don't read my Penny Saver necessarily every week, so if you have something inserted in it, it's likely going to go in the bin. So we wanted to be able to send our printed materials while also making sure people saw them. So we worked with a local vendor here in Batavia, Applied Business Systems, to create our Right List. And again, to reiterate, mailing materials needlessly outside of our school district. Right List uses powerful mapping technology as well as information from the Postal Service to put an end to waste and produce a laser-focused list of our district residential property addresses. And what this results in: lower postage costs, eliminates waste. We're only printing as many newsletters as we need. We have 100% district coverage with our mailing list. And my favorite part of the mailing list, for the first time, we now own our mailing list. So if we ever needed to send anything out at any time, we have that information, which we've never had before. So really happy to have that. EBS has been a great partner for us, really great printing capabilities, and we sent out our budget newsletter through them. I don't know if anybody noticed the difference, but totally different quality, and we were absolutely thrilled. So excited to continue to work with them. And finally, just wanted to walk through a few of my upcoming 24-25 year 4 goals. And we'll jump right into our Parent Square website. I'm working with Brian Sutton right now. Some feedback that we've heard of our current website: it's a little hard to navigate. There's a lot of information on there. There's a lot of outdated information on there. So Brian and I are working closely with the Parent Square team, who also has a product that helps us with our website. So we're going to be migrating over to the Parent Square website. Smart Sites is what it's called, and it will be a better user experience, easier to navigate. We'll make it a seamless posting experience from Parent Square to our web platform. So now a principal wants to post something newsworthy on Parent Square, they can now elect to also post it directly to the website. So you're not posting on multiple things, you're having to go to multiple places in order to post. And it will also have that enhanced branding and visuals that I talked about with some of our video content. Another goal for the coming year is to really develop a process with our admin and principal teams to unearth the best stories our community needs to know about the Batavia City School District. We do this all the time, but I think a really great example of this type of work that I want to just amplify and really juice up for the next year is, if some of you may have seen it over the weekend, I got a note from Molly and Nate at the middle school about this wonderful 8th grade student who created a Father's Day present for her dad. So that was Nate sharing that information with me, and Mr. Cummings in the technology department sharing some photos and sharing some information. And that's all I need. I can write it, I can post it, I can do all those things, but really, again, showing all the great stuff that's already happening here. We know that it is, but nobody knows about it. And so it just takes that little bit of a little extra process to make that really shine through and show the community. And that post had insane engagement, about 218 likes, like 35 comments. So I haven't seen engagement like that in a really long time. So people love to see those stories, and so we just want to amplify that across the board for the upcoming year. And again, just continuing our social media collaboration with each of our schools, and really get that robust daily social media coverage, curating all the great stuff that's happening across the schools, really enabling that to happen for the upcoming year. And finally, I want to talk about, really evaluating, exploring, and identifying ways to make sure our community is aware of everything that we're doing and is informed about all of the business that you all are doing, and making sure that that message is out there and clear, and that we are the ones sharing facts with everywhere. With social media, a lot of times negativity and uninformed information rises to the top. I want to make sure that we are the ones, again, telling our story and telling it truthfully. So making sure that we are finding ways to continue to do that. So I'm happy to answer any questions about the program. I just want to again thank Jason specifically. He's a really great partner to work with. He puts up with all of my shenanigans on a daily basis. When I ask him to do things, he'll give me a face. But he's always very willing I can always see his face. And I'm like, I think you should try this on video. And he'll be like, no, thank you, but I make him do it anyway. And it's been a really wonderful school year. So thank you very much. Happy to answer any questions about the program.
Any questions?
I have
Emily?
one.
Oh, go ahead.
Brace for this one.
It's happened for years and years and years in which we try to get as much information out there about voting for the budget and capital projects and whatever. And it seems like your effort and the school district's effort to get all that information out this year was extensive.
Mm-hmm.
But we had such a poor showing, out of the 7,000 or 8,000 people that can vote, we had 350. Do you have any suggestions as to how we can improve, getting more people? I know that they get a lot of information and you're covering everywhere that you can. Do you have any other suggestions?
Yeah, so the way that social media works, even though we have 6,500 people that follow us, most people are only seeing about 2% of the things that you ever post. So there are people that follow us that might never see the things that we post. So we cannot rely on social media as our main way of informing people. So yes, we have been using a lot of different methods, but it's known that information to stick in your brain, you have to hear it a minimum of 3 times. So that's probably engaging more with our press and media partners in Batavia to ensure coverage and make sure that they know about dates and just constantly reinforcing it. But again, looking at different options like postcards and newsletters and all those things and just really hammering that message home so people are aware of it. Maybe relying a little bit more on Parent Square to remind people about dates because our families are so zeroed in on that time. So there are definitely other options that we're going to explore and talk about.
I'd like to take team on that. I'd like to see more of a positive approach with the seniors. I think there are a lot of taxpayers who own homes and don't always know what's going on.
Oh, with senior citizens, yes, not senior classmen. Got it.
The senior citizens who I don't think come out and vote a whole lot because I don't think they know a whole lot, and I think getting more information out there for our senior citizens and possibly even brainstorming with the Office for the Aging and having some transportation.
That's a great
available
suggestion.
for them to come out and vote.
Yeah, to Jason's credit, there was a moment where we thought about discontinuing the printed newsletter, and Jason, when he started here, he was like, no, we have to keep the printed way that a lot of seniors in this community do receive their information, and that's how they know anything's happening. So yeah, we can absolutely explore. That's a great suggestion.
I'm not so sure they get it all. I don't know that it gets delivered to them as much. I think it would be nice if we could make some kind of a concerted effort to go to some of the areas, especially the areas where they're holding on to their homes maybe just by a thread.
Sure.
And so this is a very important piece for them.
Yes.
Will taxes go up? Will they stay the same?
Absolutely.
What are our kids doing? They have grandchildren. They might have great-grandchildren.
Yeah.
I really would like to see us more involved with the senior citizens so that they can exercise their right to
Yeah,
vote
that's
as well.
great suggestions. And I will say with our right list that we have this year, it is the first time that we really, I'm confident I can say every person in the city, taxpayer in the city of Batavia does receive our information. So I can't speak to previously how that worked, but I can say it now. So going forward, it's absolutely a priority. So thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Any other questions?
Emily, thank you very much for doing a great
Thank
job this
you.
year.
Nice job.
All right, next up. Athletic Department update, Mr. Ryan Winchip.
Do you think I can do this as a slideshow, Mr. Smith?
I don't. Is it slideshow?
I guess I can just click through it.
Yeah.
No problem. All right, so first I want to start by, I work with Emily a ton with athletics, and she does a great job. I mean, she was right with the signing of our 6 athletes going on to the next level of play at the college level. I mean, I got a ton of engagement, so I just want to give her a plug before I start. So thank you. Before I start, Mr. Kessler said, did I have to dust off this suit coat? Because I never wear a suit coat, so here I am. So I want to start by going over some of our team highlights. So I'm going to do both individual and team, and in these slides you're going to see some really big individual highlights, so it says team highlights. So some individuals are obviously going to get highlighted twice because we had some really big accomplishments this year. I want to start with our boys ice hockey team. They won the Class B sectional championship, and I think if you talk to Mr. Kirkwood and Mr. Staley, both coaches, Coach Kirkwood and Coach Staley, they would have said 3 to 4 years ago, it was a tough decision to combine with Batavia and Batavia Notre Dame, and I think you had a rink that was divided, and there's only so many athletes you can pull from, and bringing the 2 schools together has become a huge success, and it really united the city. So that was a really fun run to watch. It was the first sectional championship between a united program with the merger. They won the Far West Regional for Class B, and they made the state Frozen Four. So it was an amazing run for our boys ice hockey program. Our girls indoor track and field team won the Class A2 sectional championship, continuing their dominance. I mean, that's the 18th sectional championship for our girls indoor track and field team. I mean, there's some schools that don't have any sectional championships for indoor track, and our girls just complete their 18th. On that team, you have the team that wins the championship, but you also have individuals who win individual championships for the section. We had 11 of those as part of that team. Again, I said I was going to highlight teams, but I'd be remiss if I didn't highlight Casper. I mean, I went down and watched that. First of all, I've never been to the state wrestling tournament. What a cool experience. It's just action everywhere you're looking. If you ever get the opportunity to go down, it's a really, really cool experience. I mean, they got 8 mats running at once, and you're trying to watch, every which way, and then at the very end, they take it down to the 2 mats. You have the Division 2 and the Division 1, and they march them out, and it's like gladiators. And to watch Casper, who won the Division 2 145-pound weight class, was just a really cool experience. To see him get his hand raised, and then of course Rick Stewart, his dad, is the coach, and they're embracing on the mat, and it was just a really cool experience for me. First wrestling state champion in school history, so very, very cool, very fun to watch. We're going to transition to the spring now. This was also super cool. So we got the opportunity to bid. We put a bid in, so I give Mr. Smith and Mr. Lang credit too, because they have to approve that. We put a bid in to host sectionals, and we won the bid. So that was a cool opportunity. So both our boys and girls, I'll touch on our boys in a minute, won sectional championships on our home facility in Vendetta, which was it was another just awesome experience to see the 2 teams get to celebrate together. It's the 3rd girls outdoor track and field championship in a row, so 3 years in a row they've won the title. It's the 7th outdoor sectional championship in school history, and out of the team championship there was 10 individual sectional champions. And then again, the boys, the girls won by a wide margin. I mean, it was over about halfway through the meet, which just shows their dominance. And the boys, it came down to the wire. So, if you follow track and field, you can follow it on your phone through Yen timing. So we were like calculating. You go over to Nick Burke, he's like a mad scientist, like trying to calculate points in his head, like what we needed in what events, and that came down to the wire. But they were able to beat HFL. It's their 8th outdoor track and field sectional championship, and that team included 6 individual champions. And then obviously honored Shelley tonight. He won shot put. He's the second male in school history to win the shot put. And he actually holds the school record for discus, and I'm sure he's chasing that school record for shot put as well. So I know I did highlight some of the individuals, but I thought it was really important that the state champions got their own slide. So now I'm going to talk about some of our individual highlights and our state representatives and some of our student athletes. There's going to be a lot of reading here, but I think every person should be named. So during the winter season, our girls indoor track and field, Campbell Riley went to states and competed in the 1,000-meter run, and she finished 23rd. Ava Weirda competed in the weight throw and finished 11th. Sheldon had another good showing in indoor season as well. He finished 11th in shot put and 13th in the weight throw. Harry Southall with our Batavia Notre Dame swimming merger. He went to states, competed in 2 events. In the 100-yard butterfly, he finished 24th, and then the 50-yard freestyle, he finished 37th. And then I touched on Casper. He won the state championship for Division II in the 145-pound weight class. Transitioning to our spring state representatives, a lot of them great accomplishments. Maddie Smith competed in the 100-meter hurdles, finished 6th, actually was on the podium. Campbell Riley competed in 2 events, the 800-meter run and the 2,000-meter steeplechase, 23rd in the 800-meter run and 24th in the 2,000-meter steeplechase. Ava Weirda competed in discus and finished 14th. Anna Varland competed in the pentathlon, finished 21st. This one was a bit of a heartbreaker, but still just what an accomplishment. Addie O'Donnell, Ella Radley, Charisma Westcott, and Ella Shamp finished 2nd in the 4x100s. They came up short by 1/100th of a second. I mean, talk about a photo finish. It was so close. Nevaeh Thomas and Jessa Stewart also went as alternates in the 4x100 because you can enter 6 in that event. Eva Anderson, Jane Boyce, Ella Radley, and Campbell Riley finished 18th in the 4x400 meter relay. And then we had 3 boys also represent us at states. Cooper Knesny competed in pole vault, finished 22nd. Sheldon, he competed in 2 events. He won shot put and got on the podium for discus. And Isaac Varland also competed in discus and finished 11th. I'm going to break down kind of our offerings by season. So here's all our fall sports offerings. I'm not going to read through them, but we had 20 programs, teams that ran and were offered to our student population. For winter, again, they're listed there. We had kind of was funny how it worked out, 20 teams in the winter that were offered to our student population. And then in the spring, you know, the number's a little lower, but I think that's because track and field, you know, populates so many kids. You know, you have like per team, I mean, combined over 100 kids competing in track and field. If you consider the modified, it's closer to 150. We have 15 teams offered there. So that was 55 sports teams ran during the 23-24 school year, and the district houses 85 paid coaches and several volunteer assistants as well. So this slide, I take a lot of pride in our students for. I always say you're a student athlete. You're a student before you're an athlete. And a big part of that is you got to get it right in the classroom. And we, you know, Batavia, we have a really good high success rate in our scholar athlete program. So to be a scholar athlete, you have to have per the quarter your season as a 90 or above. So obviously it fluctuates. In the fall, it's like the first quarter. The winter's the second quarter, and the spring's the third quarter. So in the spring, we had 100 individual scholar athletes, so that's 100 student athletes that had a 90 or above, 103 in the winter, and 77 in the fall. That's 280 students qualified as scholar athletes during the school year, so that is very impressive. Every scholar athlete gets a certificate by the athletic department, and also the state issues them a NISPA state scholar athlete pin that they can put on varsity jackets, which are making a comeback. So as part of that, you know, you have scholar athlete teams. To be a scholar athlete team, 75% of the roster has to have a 90 or above. So you take 75% of the roster, average those 75% of student athletes, and if it's a 90 or above, they qualify as scholar athlete teams. So we have 8 scholar athlete teams in the spring, 9 scholar athlete teams in the winter, 8 scholar athlete teams in the fall, and so that was 25 out of 28 teams qualified as scholar athletes, so 89%. If you're 75% or above, the state recognizes you as a school of excellence. So Batavia will qualify as a school of excellence and will be honored at the mandatory 80s workshop with a plaque. Participation. Around 507 student athletes, grades 7 through 12, participated in at least one sport during the 23-24 school year. So that's just the individuals that played one sport. A lot of these individuals are multi-sport athletes, some playing, 2 or 3 sports in a season. Several years ago during COVID, Section 5 allotted students an opportunity to go dual participate, which allows you to play 2 sports in one season. So not only does that number is just singular, several of those student athletes took opportunities to play 2 sports within one season. This is a slide. I can't take credit for this. Mr. Brownlee showed me this one day, and I was like, wow, that's really impressive. So I partnered with Mr. Lang with this. But providing athletic opportunities for student athletes only accounts for 1.34% of the entire school budget for the 23-24 school year. So, athletics lots of great opportunity for student athletes with not a lot of cost from our taxpayers. So it's just a really cool experience for everyone involved. And that's it. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Mr. Winchell, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Next up, Superintendent Report. Mr. Smith.
Thank you, John. I just want to recognize again and say thank you to our retirees, all 15 of them for their years of service. We look forward, we thank them for the service to our district and to our students. We had a special event this morning at Jackson, Robert Morris at Vendetta Stadium. We held our pre-K graduation ceremony. It was very nice. John was there, the board rep at Vendetta. Dr. Corey was there as well. And we had about 80 to 90 3- and 4-year-olds walking out like they're graduates with crowns under their head in the sun, and the parents were in the stand. It was great. They sang a song or two for us. Their names were read over the PA with music. And it was a very nice ceremony. I think Emily has some pictures on Facebook. We have some media there as well. So that was a great event and nice custom for us to start. We also last week had 8th grade graduation. I had that last week at the middle school. We had some great prom pictures. We held a prom here locally at the Woodcrest, so lots of pictures available on Facebook and our media partners. Of course, graduation, the event of the month is next Friday at Vendetta Stadium, 7 p.m. Board members are, of course, all invited to participate. Speaking of graduation, Peyton, I want to thank you for your service this year as our student rep. You did an outstanding job. You raised the bar very high for a candidate as he comes in, and everyone's like working with together. And I look forward to staying in touch with you and wish you all school next year. So thank you, Peyton.
Thank you.
I want to welcome back John, Jen, and Corinne for 3 more years of service. Look forward to working with them and congratulate them on their election back to the board. Echo my congratulations to Sheldon. I've seen him grow in the past couple of years. He was on as many of the track events, and he really was a good kid. He worked hard and brought home a state championship for us. So very proud of Sheldon, and all our spring athletes for their work this past season. Conference season is over. I do want to recognize one special event. We were able to, at the high school, I want to thank Colin and Glenn for bringing back the full orchestra. When I was a student here many years ago, I think Jan probably too, we had the band kids and the orchestra kids play one or two numbers in the group. It's a full symphonic orchestra. I was very proud to have that back. We did each teacher conducted one song, I think, and it was a really nice event to have back. It's been many years since we had that, so I want to recognize that. Just a reminder to the board, your homework assignment is to finish up your board self-evaluation. Brittany, when that due by, when did you do that?
First.
July
Yeah,
1st?
yeah. Like
So
that
that's some
reminder.
time, but that's all super eval in preparation for our retreat in the fall. Admin searches are underway. Both the middle school principal and the athletic director closes in about 5 hours. So we have, I was pleased both with the quality and quantity of applicants. Several are coming with terrific experience, and the process will continue in the next couple of weeks. And wishes to our staff and students for a good and safe summer. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
All right, next up, for his last student ex officio's report, Dana Wooler.
All right, so starting off, we had our third annual Willow Tree event, along with a new event that I hope continues for years to come, Evening of Jazz. Although the weather forced us to be inside for both of the events that day, the energy was incredible. I got to perform 4 pieces total throughout the 2 events, and it was just truly an incredible experience. I got to work with people I've never gotten to work with before, along with getting to work with my favorite guitar player, Sophia Menudo, again. But it was just such a great experience to be at. It ended with a 10-minute long jam session between our jazz band and the Pembroke Jazz Band, which we invited here. And it was crazy just seeing everyone working together and improvising together. And it ended with both of the jazz directors doing a battle with each other basically through saxophone, and it was just so fun to watch that night. And I really hope that it continues to be an event that we keep holding. Moving on, we also had our Spring Fest on Thursday. Instead of the usual half day, we had a full entire day full of the fun activities. We splurged a little this year. We had an inflatable obstacle course, which we normally have. We had a mechanical bowl. We had an ice cream for all the students. And there were so many other things happening throughout the building. It was amazing. Definitely the best Spring Fest I've seen so far. Originally, I'll be honest, I was thinking of leaving halfway through the day because I figured there wouldn't be much to offer. But I actually ended up staying past when school ended. It was so much fun just getting to have fun on the last day of school with all my friends.
You don't have to be so honest.
But he is.
Yes.
We also had our award ceremony later that night, which was just incredible seeing how many amazing students fill our student body, specifically juniors and seniors in our high school. There were so many people who won awards and scholarships that night, and it was great to see just how talented our student population is. So Saturday was prom night. I can't even begin to describe how much fun I had. I'll start passing along. I've got some of the photo booth photos, and we got these fans as little gifts. I'll start passing those around. Prom was absolutely just such an amazing experience. We had so much fun. We had 300 free Tully tenders to just give out. We had free ice cream there. We had a wood fire pizza come in. It was just great, and everyone was having so much fun. We redid the Mr. Batavia dance that night, and it was crazy just how much fun everyone was able to have. And even though it was 3 hours long, it didn't feel 3 hours long. It felt like we were only there for a little bit. And it made me realize just how much has happened in the senior year. And I'm so grateful for all of the memories I've gotten to make through this district. Later this week, we also have the senior trip to Toronto, and then we have our graduation. So I'm officially done with my time in Batavia City School District. I've been in our public schools since I was 4, and now 14 years later, I'm here giving my final board report as the student ex officio. And I'm graduating in 11 days. I just want to thank you all for being so inviting and kind. I'm truly grateful to be your student ex officio this year. And I'm a personal friend of Cameron Bioko, and I know he will step up to the plate and he will bring excellent board reports for you guys. I know he will bring just as much life as I've tried to, and I can't wait for you all to get to know him. Thank you.
Nice job,
Nice job. Payne, from me and the rest of the board, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you this year. Did a
Thank you.
great job. Thank you very much for everything.
Great
you did.
job.
All right, next up, consent grouping. I will need a motion to approve the grouping of consent items E through M. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Ms. Lindvay, could I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Anderson?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I have to abstain from N. Okay.
Because of Emily's?
Yes.
I pulled it and put it in its own separate action. So you
So
don't
it's just-
Yep, I knew you were going to do that.
All right, next up is contracts. ESB Media Communications and Marketing Proposal for July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. Could I have a motion, please? Or first, is there any questions? If there's no questions, could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mr. Regal, second?
Second.
Ms. Lindvay?
And Mrs. Bennett, you're abstaining from this one, correct?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? Okay.
Approval of the revised school calendar for 2024-2025 and first day of school for ninth graders.
This is just a minor change. The calendar doesn't really change. We just, the second day of school, that Friday, whichever whatever it is, will just be the ninth grade district. So we're going back to our old crew. The link crew is still around, but we'll go back to the ninth grade orientation because we have 2 full days of staff development. So that's just a minor change that will communicate to parents.
Any other questions or anything? Okay, can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mr. Regal, can I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Benedict?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
New business. Approval of impartial hearing officer appointment and resolution. Any questions on that? If not, can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Ms. Lindvay, can I have a second? Mr. Roll?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Resolution to establish an insurance reserve fund. Any questions?
No, this is just the district is able, through their municipal law, to establish a reserve for insurance. And we're just utilizing that and establishing this reserve. So funds will be appropriated to it annually, just as we do with all of our reserves.
All right, could I have a motion? Mr. Roll, could I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Regal?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
All right, now this will be the time, we have administrative reports for curriculum, operations, and business that are all online. Please feel free to take a look at those. And do any board members have any comments or have anything they would like to discuss at this time?
I'm not a board member, obviously, but just say that I went to a rural schools workshop with Nelson and Corinne a few weeks ago, presented by David Little. I should have included that in my report, but I thought Dave made some good points and maybe something to add to that. But it kind of set us up for the next year's budget, gave us a nice state perspective, and it's pleased to have Nelson and Corinne. So I think I'm going to answer that. Sorry, I put you on the spot. I just thought of that.
No, it was informative. I mean, we all know kind of what we're up against next year. Definitely, it's nice to hear from him that he has our back, and he's letting us know in these, the smaller districts about what's going on. So, encourage anyone to get to stuff like that.
I'm good.
All right.
So I just have one thing. I'd like to see if we can, we have our board self-evaluation going on now. We have a board retreat coming up. What I'd like to see is if we can possibly do some sort of survey to our teachers, staff, kind of the end of the year wrap up. There's been a lot of changes over this past year, so I think it's important for us as a board to kind of get some feedback from them. However, I think we get more truthful answers when it's, anonymous. We don't have to say who it is, so I don't know what type of tool we have set up that we can put something out there for the end of the year for that, and that maybe we can get that to review and discuss at one of our board meetings. It'll help us set.
Maybe a retreat too.
Yeah, I think it'll help us set goals for ourselves as a board along with our district.
You can do a Google form and just make it so you don't collect emails or the names or anything.
There's some research-based ones we probably find that can everybody.
Okay. I know a couple of the local districts, I know have used them in the past. That maybe we can, like I said, utilize to set some short-term and long-term goals for us and keep moving forward.
Yeah. Dr. Corey's been surveying, we've done survey data now, we can go back and look at it again.
Well, if there's any specific questions, I don't know what the rest of the board might be interested in hearing about or from. Maybe we can throw some questions out to Jason.
Somebody said to me that over the past couple of years, Molly and often test that out, we use that to guide a strategic plan. We can get you those results that we've had. I think we just sent out a couple weeks ago. So we do like one question. We started doing that like a year or two ago, so we can look at those again. What I can do is get those to you, the questions, see if those kind of match your needs, and we can also share with some of the initial results too. But we can look to see if there's anything out there that you would like to see if that's not out of the too.
Oh, I'm sure I can come up with questions.
Well, as you could. So now I can work on that.
Perfect, thank you.
Anything else?
And just to echo real quick on our UPK ceremony today, this morning was incredible with what Maureen and the Rockmore staff did. The stadium was about as packed as one of the football games. It was awesome sight to see this morning. So great job to our Rockmore staff.
Yeah, I think it's neat that, like, just imagining the graduates next week and, those, 4-year-olds, you're like, it happens so quickly. And I think it just speaks from our community to be able to do it at Vendetta.
We'll have to keep Emily around to show that video she did today. And
right? Like, in my mind, I was like
road.
tearing up, imagining in 14 years, like, little Peyton grew up and now he's going across the field.
Yeah. That's it.
All right, so this will be a call for executive session. The board will not return to public session. Call for executive session. You're going to need a motion to move into executive session to discuss matters relating to the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. Could I have a motion, please? Mr. Roll, could I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Bowman?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No, we're going to